Good morning, students. Let me introduce myself. I am Shivani and I am going to teach you science. And your science book is you all must have purchased. It is of Cordova Publications. And today we will start with first chapter, that is nutrition in plants. Okay. So before starting with the main chapter, let me give you an introduction of the chapter. Let me first tell you what is nutrition. Nutrition is what? It is the process of taking food by an organism and its digestion, absorption and assimilation by the body. Means you know that all the living organisms, they take food, and when we eat food, why do we eat food? To get energy. Okay. So but it's not a very simple process that we just take food and then energy will be released. And why do we require energy? Because we are living, we have to perform many functions, and to perform that functions we require energy that will be given by food. So the whole process by which we take food, then the food will be digested, then absorbed and then utilized by the body, this whole process will be considered as nutrition. Clear? So whenever we take food, it's not in a simple way. So it has to be first converted into simpler form by the process of digestion. That is why in nutrition we also include digestion. Okay. And then absorption means whatever nutrients which are present in the food will be absorbed by our body. Now what are nutrients? Nutrients are what? These are the substances which are present in a healthy food, and when we eat food, the nutrients will help us to provide energy. Okay. So after that, after digestion, the food means whatever nutrients will be produced by the food will be absorbed by our body. And then assimilation or utilization, same thing, means the nutrients which will be released by the food will be used by the body, that will be called as assimilation, so that later on that nutrients can be used to produce energy. So this whole process will be considered as nutrition. So is it clear? All the living organisms, they take food, and whatever food they take, their digestion, their absorption and the assimilation of the food by the body will be called as nutrition. Clear? So this is just an introduction to what is nutrition. Then let's see the modes of nutrition. Like if we talk about all the living organisms, either it is the simplest one, which is bacteria, from bacteria to the most complex one like human beings. Okay. So we all require food. So bacteria also require food, plants also, animals also, human also, all of them require food. Okay. So depending upon their ability to either prepare their own food or to take food from other organisms, there are two types of mode of nutrition. One is autotrophic and the second one is heterotrophic. Okay. So autotrophic word is made up of two words, auto and trophus or trophic. Auto means self, trophus means nutrition, means self nutrition. So the mode of nutrition in which an organism can make its own food from simpler substances like CO2, water and sunlight will be called as the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay. So here you can see I have written the example, all green plants. All green plants means I have mentioned here green, because green plants means they have the ability to prepare their own food. You all must know about the process of photosynthesis. Yes. So photosynthesis is a process by which the plants can prepare their own food. And how they prepare their food? By using CO2 like carbon dioxide, which is a gas, water and sunlight. And the process by which they prepare their food is photosynthesis. And photosynthesis is only possible when the color of the plant is green. So can you imagine that there are some plants also which are not green? We will take up in the second mode of nutrition. So that is why I have mentioned here the green plants, because they can prepare their food by photosynthesis, and green color is because of chlorophyll present in them. And the second example is some bacteria. So can you imagine there are some bacteria also which can prepare their food because they also have chlorophyll like plants. They are called cyanobacteria, but they are not in your syllabus now. We will take up in higher classes. Okay. So this is called autotrophic mode of nutrition. Second one is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. It is made up of two parts, hetero and trophus. Hetero means other and trophic means or trophus means nutrition. Okay. Means other nutrition means they take nutrition or food from others. Like the mode of nutrition in which an organism can prepare its own food, cannot prepare its own food and takes ready-made food from plants, directly or indirectly, they are called, that is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Directly or indirectly means we take food from plants directly in the form of like fruits and all, or we can take some other parts like vegetables or some roots or some stem of the plant, and then we cook the food and then we take the food. So the most common example are human, animals and non-green plants. So humans, you know that we cannot prepare their food like plants. We take our food from others, either from plant or from other animals. Animals also, they take food from plants, that is why they show heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And the other one is non-green plants, means which do not have chlorophyll in them, they take their food from others. So these will be considered under heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay. But in this chapter, what we are going to study is autotrophic mode of nutrition, because the chapter's name is nutrition in plants, and plants show which type of nutrition? Autotrophic. So we will study in detail the autotrophic mode of nutrition, the process of photosynthesis, what are the requirements for photosynthesis, what are the products released, and also activities will be included in that. What means how do we prove that, what are the requirements of photosynthesis and what are the products of photosynthesis. So let's take up photosynthesis in detail. So let's see the process of photosynthesis. So it is made up of two words, photo and synthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means to build, means using light to build food using light. Light is what? Sunlight. Okay. So let's see, the term photosynthesis was given by the scientist Charles Reid Barnes in 1893. Okay. So this scientist gave this term photosynthesis. It doesn't mean that he just discovered all the things, what are the requirements. The term that is photosynthesis, which means to build something by using light, was given by Charles Reid Barnes. Okay. So I have shown here diagrammatically the process of photosynthesis. Let me first show you, write the reaction for photosynthesis. I am just writing PS. Okay. So what it requires, here I can write it, that is carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. The products will be glucose, that is the food, plus oxygen. Okay, this is the reaction of photosynthesis. Actually it is given in your book in the form of molecular formula also, but you can just learn this because there are some changes in that. In higher classes there will be some change, or either you can also write like CO2 plus water, glucose is C6H12O6 plus oxygen. To balance this equation it is given like that. Okay. So but we will discuss here only the reaction in the form of what are the requirements. The carbon dioxide gas, water in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight will produce food in the form of glucose and oxygen. Okay. So let's see, I have shown here a plant. These are the roots of the plant. Okay. And here is the soil. So this plant requires carbon dioxide and water for photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide, here you can see it is going in, the arrows you have to see very carefully. The sunlight is providing the sunlight. So I have shown the arrows towards the leaf, because leaf is the portion where actually photosynthesis takes place. Okay. And why it happens in the leaves? Because the leaf has chlorophyll in them, because they are of green color, and chlorophyll is the green pigment which is responsible for photosynthesis. And the outer arrow you can see here is the oxygen. So oxygen that is released during photosynthesis will be released in the atmosphere, and the food which is prepared by the plants will be stored in the, either it can be stored anywhere. It is not compulsorily that it will be stored in the leaves only, because leaves is the place where photosynthesis takes place, but from leaf the food can go anywhere, in the stem, in the root, in the flower, in the fruits, vegetables. So the food can be stored anywhere, but it is prepared in the leaves. That is why leaves are also called as the kitchen of the plants. Clear? Now let's see the requirements for photosynthesis and from where they are getting these things. So first requirement is requirements for photosynthesis. So first requirement is carbon dioxide. So you know that carbon dioxide is a gas and they get it from atmosphere. Okay, so carbon dioxide, the plants get carbon dioxide from atmosphere. Okay, atmosphere means in air, whatever carbon dioxide is present, that will enter inside the leaf. Okay, and from where the carbon dioxide will enter inside the leaf is through stomata. Okay, what are stomatas? If you will see the leaf under microscope, you will see small holes or pores in the leaves. Okay, so these pores are called stomata. Clear? So these pores are called stomata, and when these stomata open, then the carbon dioxide will enter into the leaf. Okay, and you know that the plants perform photosynthesis during daytime. Why it happens? Because during day the sunlight is there and stomata are open. So when stomata are open, then they will take up carbon dioxide in them through leaf, and sunlight is already there because it is day. So these two are the main requirements for the, and the third one is water and minerals. I will tell you. So this is the first requirement. Second requirement is water and minerals. Minerals though they will use for other purpose, but water is the main requirement for photosynthesis. So water, from where they will get water? From soil through roots. Okay, so from soil through roots the water will be absorbed. The roots will absorb the water from soil, because you know plants will grow only when you give water to them. Every day at your home also you give water to plant. Why is that so? Because they require water for photosynthesis, and the water will be taken up by roots which is there in the soil, and from soil these roots will absorb water, and water will then go to the leaves to perform photosynthesis. Okay, and third requirement is sunlight. Okay, so sunlight is, they are getting sunlight from sun. Okay, so sun is providing sunlight, so that is why during daytime the plants prepare their food by using sunlight. At night there is no sunlight, stomata are also closed, so there will be no photosynthesis occurring during daytime, during night time. Okay, and the product released will be oxygen and glucose. So oxygen will be released into the atmosphere, which will be taken by animals for breathing, for respiration, and the glucose which is secreted can be stored in the leaf, in the stem, in the root part, wherever it will be suitable. So it will be stored there. But glucose is not stored directly in the glucose form, it is stored in the form of starch. So is it clear? Starch is the stored form of food in plants. Okay, so is it clear what are the requirements and what are the products released during photosynthesis? Now we will see the detailed structure of stomata. So let's see the structure of stomata. So stomata, as I told you, these are the small pore-like structures present in the leaves. Okay, and its structure is very much important. So let's see the structure. So as I told you, the stomatas can be open or closed depending upon the presence or absence of sunlight. Like during daytime sunlight is present, so photosynthesis has to happen. So this is the structure of stomata. This I have shown the detailed structure of stomata. Okay, so these are the cells which are present around it, and the two cells which guards the opening and closing of stomata are called guard cells. Clear? They are called guard cells. They are kidney shaped cells. Okay, so here you can see these are bean shaped or kidney shaped cells, and they will guard. Why they are called guard cells? Because they will guard the opening and closing of stomata. Like they are like that. When they are like in this condition, the stomata are open. When they just attach with itself, then the stomata are closed. Okay, so opening and closing will depend upon the guard cell. So this portion here you can see the red one. This is what? Stomatal pore. This is called stomatal pore, and the cells which are present around guard cells are called epidermal cells. Okay, so is it clear that the guard cells, so these pores are called stomatal pores. So this structure which I have shown here is the open stomata, generally during daytime. Clear? So these stomata are open, and that is why this is called open stomata. So if the question comes that you have to draw the diagram of open stomata, then you can draw it like that. Now we will see the diagram of closed stomata. I will make it. So let's see the diagram of closed stomata. As I told you, the guard cells in this case will be completely joined with each other like this. So there is no space between the guard cells. So here you can see this type of stomata will be called as closed stomata. Clear? So if I will draw open and closed stomata parallelly, how you will draw it like this. This is open stomata. Okay, this is generally during night time, and this is during daytime. Okay, so is it clear now the requirements of photosynthesis, the products of photosynthesis, and from where they are getting sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, which is required for photosynthesis. Okay, in the next class we will take up the activities which will show that why sunlight is required and how we will prove that sunlight is required for photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is required for photosynthesis, and then how oxygen is released during photosynthesis. So this was the general introduction of the chapter. You have to read it, which is given in your book. All the things are there. You just read the chapter. First, second and third page we have covered in this, and the homework will be you have to draw the structure of stomata, both closed and open stomata, in your fair notebook. Okay, so we will meet in the next class with the activities to show that what are the requirements of photosynthesis.